Welcome everybody to this evening's webinar. We are going to do what we've done once before in the past, and we're going to go through the catalog. We'll go through page by page. You will notice that as we have set up this catalog, and we do update it regularly. We try to only do it once a year, but that the catalog has a lot of information about individual products. So we will go through there and I'll share that with you. So in the very first inside cover, we have information about the proprietary product GI Pro 3. This is an ingredient that Performance Horse Nutrition developed in conjunction with Kemin, and the only clients or people, companies that are allowed to have access to this product are PHN customers. You all know that we as Performance Horse Nutrition only work with one supplement company. So DAC is the only supplement company that has access to GI Pro 3. You may have heard of it. You may not feel super comfortable explaining it to people. So I really tried to, some of these pictures maybe look a little corny, but I tried to really break it down and make it very easy for someone to follow through. So is your horse experiencing any of these things? Diarrhea or just inconsistent manure? Whether it's, loose one day, solid the next, bit of fecal water syndrome maybe, so it's formed fecal balls but water. What about their behavior? Do they have some anxiety, some stress, some nervous behavior, or is it just a different behavior than they normally have? Are you seeing allergy-like symptoms? Does your horse have hives? And you think maybe it was something that they ate? Are they lethargic, or they're just not recovering very well, just seem a little sluggish? What about their body condition or their coat quality or hoof quality? I've got, they're eating a lot of food, but they're not gaining weight. I feel like I'm doing some good coat conditioning supplements, but the coat still looks terrible. It could be one of these, it could be a combination of all of these or some of these. But if you have tried other remedies for diarrhea and nothing is working, or you've tried a calming supplement and the anxiety or bad behavior is not going away, then maybe there's something else going on. So the problem that we see in a lot of performance horses is stress. And we know that stress from changing diet, the environment, whether it be I'm trailering them, I'm exercising them, the weather changed, they took the donkey away. We all know that there's everything stresses horses. That can impact performance horses negatively. How? By damaging the gastrointestinal tract. Stress directly damages the GI tract of a person and a horse. All right? Why is that important? Why do we need the gastrointestinal tract to be intact? Well, the gastrointestinal tract, which is your stomach, your small intestine, the large intestine, that is responsible for absorption of nutrients, fiber passage and fermentation. Remember, the horses, the majority of their diet is fiber, and more than 70% of the immune system starts in the gastrointestinal tract. So the gastrointestinal tract is very, very important. And if it's damaged because the horse is stressed and is showing you those symptoms, we got a problem. So what is the solution? Well, Performance Horse Nutrition has worked to create solutions to help improve digestive health through this functional nutrient called GI Pro 3. It's a unique and proprietary blend of probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. Some call them proteobiotics, but postbiotics are natural substances that good bugs make that have a positive outcome on the body, right? This GI Pro 3 can reduce inflammation, stop communication between the bad bugs, and it can also kill bad bugs. It's been proven by science. Unfortunately, a lot of commercially available probiotics, research has shown that they're rarely alive when they reach your horse's gut. And by definition, probiotic means it needs to be alive. And we have done the research when developing this product to make sure that it can withstand acid and heat and manufacturing and shelf life so that it will arrive alive. So like I mentioned, the GI Pro 3, these combination of 3 different probiotics, can target bad bugs. It'll release compounds that kill the bad bugs, protect the good bugs, stops the bad bugs from talking to each other, and it'll also release proteins that possess anti-inflammatory properties. All of these things improve gut health. So the GI Pro 3 is beneficial if your horse has any of those symptoms, or they've been diagnosed with something with like salmonella or E. coli or strangles, rhodococcus, respiratory disorders, or Clostridia. And Clostridia is really the bad bacteria that is responsible for diarrhea. So the About Us page, a little bit about DAC vitamins and minerals, kind of the story, the mission statement, the guarantee. What I want to point out is at the very bottom of the page. Remember, at the very beginning, I asked, do you have the most recent copy of the catalog? Typically, we change the cover of the catalog, but you can also look at the print date. Right down here at the bottom, the print date. So this was printed in 04/2024. So if somebody's asking, well, what version catalog do you have? You can look there and say, it's this one. Table of contents all the way down there. And then the category key, we've got these little icons that help navigate you through the catalog, whether it be vitamins and minerals, reproduction and fertility, kind of gives you a little bit of a guide as to what that product may be designed for. Because some of the names, as we all know, aren't that intuitive. DAC Orange, for example. If you didn't know anything about the products and you heard that, you wouldn't know it was a vitamin and mineral supplement. Then we've got our partners. You know that we talk about NASC all the time. Now we have other partners that we work with, but these are some of the most kind of beneficial to talk about when you're trying to discuss the quality of a product. NASC, National Animal Supplement Council, we know that the supplement industry isn't really that regulated, and NASC is a body that we voluntarily belong to. You have to pay money to belong to it, and you have to adhere to very strict guidelines, but it's a volunteer organization. And what that does is across the board, anybody who uses that logo is held to the same standards of labeling, of marketing, even putting together the catalog, down to the warehouse and the cleanliness and the safety in the warehouse. So you know that is a added level of quality control when you see that logo. Performance Horse Nutrition, who is that? That is myself and Dr. Stephen Duran, and we are the nutritionists that work with DAC. So 2 PhD nutritionists that work all around the world. Alltech, Zinpro, and Kemin are 3 different biotechnology companies that we primarily work with. So we'll get into the vitamins and minerals first. So direct action, and every page will be set up very similarly. We've got the guaranteed analysis, we've got the feeding directions, some special ingredients, maybe that's a little bit about some technologies, features. So that's more like features. When I set this up, is more basic bullet points. Special ingredients is a little bit more of a description. You'll see we also have kind of a description of the product, and then the ingredients and a picture. And next to the picture will be the available sizes of that product. Then there will also be the little whatever logos down the bottom. So Direct Action, for example, has the NASC logo, but this one does not incorporate any Zimpro products. It doesn't have any GI Pro 3 in it, and it doesn't have any Alltech minerals in it. So it doesn't carry those other logos, but it is a NASC certified product. One of the things that NASC requires us to do is, you can see for the guaranteed analysis, we've got calcium, phosphorus, potassium. The ingredients, the things that are listed in the guaranteed analysis are the things that have purpose in this product, right? So we also have it listed. So calcium, for example, is listed as a percentage. Selenium is parts per million, that's ppm. Your vitamins are in international units per pound. But to make it easier to compare to other products, the amount per ounce is also listed right after there. So for example, vitamin E in the Direct Action, 31 IUs per ounce is in this product. Feeding directions, maintenance, performance, lactating, pregnant. The direct action is your bare bones basic vitamin and mineral supplement, right? Before we had the lick tub, some people used to free choice this. They mixed it with salt, but it's got no bells and whistles. It's just very basic vitamin and mineral supplement. The Orange Superior, again, the page is set up the same, but we've now got some more, we've got chelated minerals. We've got extra B vitamins, some essential amino acids. It also has a supportive, so not the full therapeutic amount of the GI Pro 3, but a supportive amount of the GI Pro 3. And a little bit about those, a bit more detail about the organic selenium and the organic or bioavailable trace minerals, the chelated minerals, and why that's important. But the Orange Superior is more broad spectrum. You've got a boarding stable, you've got a wide variety of riding horses. The Orange Superior is ideal. When we get into higher level performance, we go to the total performance. And in the past, we had said, okay, if you have mainly, a riding program and you're doing the dark orange and you just have one horse that you want to try breeding, we said Orange Superior was absolutely fine for them. Now we recommend, it is still fine for those horses, but we recommend the Breeder's Choice Plus, right? Again, the label is set up the same. You can see down the bottom the logo. So it's got GI Pro 3 at a supportive dose. It utilizes Zinpro minerals, NASC. It also now contains the marine-derived calcium, which is the calcium powder, and chemtrace chromium. You can read a little bit more about. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on the calcite and the chemtrace chromium because we've got a lot of pages to get through in 45 more minutes. So you can read through those in your catalog. And if you go to our YouTube channel, we've got specific seminars that we've done on the marine-derived calcium, on chemtrace chromium, and on GI Pro 3, and even for that matter on chelated minerals. But people want to read a little bit more, it's right there. So the Breeder's Choice Plus this year was improved by adding the marine-derived calcium and the chromium. Why did we add it? The marine-derived calcium can improve bone strength and quality. So what is the mare doing? She's developing that fall. And the chromium has been shown in reproduction to improve uterine health and to improve conception rates. So chromium, very beneficial in the Breeder's Choice Plus. So if we do recommend, if it's possible for you to use the Breeder's Choice Plus with your broodmares and stallions, that you choose this as your first go-to. Then we move to the Colt Grower. So the Colt Grower is a vitamin and mineral supplement that is designed for the young growing horse, right? We recommend that these horses start the colt grower by 3 months of age. If we are concerned at all about leg and joint issues, we want to start this as early as 30 days of age, getting them to eat it out of your hand. The colt grower, all chelated minerals, organic selenium, supportive dose of the GI Pro 3, which is really, really important for these young horses. Remember, it can cut back on the incidence of rhodococcus, which is causes those respiratory disease in young horses. It has been fortified or designed to have correct amounts of zinc and copper, calcium, phosphorus. So the colt grower for these young growing horses. The racing formula. So the racing formula and the total performance and the total performance plus are for your higher performing animals, doing a lot more exercise, right? Maybe it's a buggy horse, maybe it's a dressage horse, maybe it's a barrel racing horse. I will be straight up and honest. None of these supplements will make your horse go faster, right? There's nothing, there's no energy or calories in these products that will make your horse go faster. If your horse feels good because they're getting all the nutrients they need, then they will perform to their potential. But it's not like we're feeding oats or corn or barley here that's going to give them that quick release energy. There's really no calories in these products. So again, in your racing performance and your total performance, we've got bioavailable trace minerals, organic selenium, the supplemental dose of GI Pro 3, 100% natural vitamin E. The other thing that we see that we have added to the racing formula is the Chemtrace Chromium. The Chemtrace Chromium, whilst it won't make your horse necessarily go faster, what it will do, it will unlock more fuel for the cells. So it will allow more glucose to drive into the cell. Your horse is going to prioritize the use of that glucose for its immune system, for, just keeping the lights on. And hopefully, if you're feeding them an appropriate diet that's giving them the calories they need, the energy they need, and they're getting a supplement that's got chromium in it, there'll be enough energy left over so that they can use that for performance. Total performance, you can also see that most of the vitamin mineral supplements up to this point are available in a 5-pound bag, a 20-pound bag, and a 40-pound bag. A lot of you realize that whilst the initial outlay of the product may be more expensive, cost per head per day is the least expensive when you buy it in the largest quantity. And the vitamins and minerals, they have such a long shelf life, they're not ever going to go bad unless kind of mice get into them or something, but on their own, they're not going to go bad. They may lose their potency after a couple of years, but they're really not going to go bad, rancid, like oil might. The total performance, however, is only available in the 40-pound bag. Total Performance Plus. Now, one thing that I'll point out here is you don't see the little NASC logo on the Total Performance Plus. That is because the Total Performance Plus is what we call a hybrid product. Sometimes you see a product will have a guaranteed analysis. You mainly see this with supplements. Some will have a guaranteed analysis, and another product will have active and inactive ingredients. And I'm like, well, what is the difference? Well, when you put a guaranteed analysis, it's like a food supplement, right? So we are providing basic nutrients. So the Total Performance Plus is providing you with basic vitamins and minerals, but it's also providing you with joint supplement. And that's where we start to write the active ingredients. So this is a combination of the two of them, and NASC just does not know what to do with that. So the NASC logo is not on there. I will tell you though, just because the NASC logo is not on it, this product, because it sits next to all the other products, goes through all of the same strict, rigorous quality control as any other product in this catalog. It just can't have the little logo on it. Total Performance Plus, though, has Zinpro minerals. It has the GI Pro 3 in a supportive dose. And as I mentioned, it's your total performance, but it also adds a serving, a maintenance dose of Optimum Flex Plus, the complete joint supplement. So your MSM, glucosamine, chondroitin, and hyaluronic acid. You can read a little bit about those down the bottom. Pastulic. So the Pastulic was developed because there were a lot of horses that were out in a field that were not being fed daily, and we needed to provide them with a vitamin and mineral free choice access so that it was still convenient to the owners and managers of the horses, but was going to provide them with the nutrients they need. Now, the caveat with any free choice supplement is you don't really control intake very well. We do our best, but one horse in the herd is always going to lick more than the least dominant horse. So if you've got high performing horses, broodmares in late gestation, young growing horses, I'm not going to rely on a Pastulic, on their consumption of a Pastulic for them to get all their vitamins and minerals. If that's all you can manage, it's better than nothing. Pastulic for me was designed for horses that may not be doing any exercise, maybe retired horses out in a giant field, aren't being seen every day. That's what it was really designed for. Okay, so the Breeders Excel is a product that is, now we're out of the vitamins and minerals. Okay, so all the products that we've talked about up until this point can only be fed one of those, right? We're not doubling up, we're not adding multiple, it's one of those. You're going to choose one of those. From here on out, you can mix and match with any one of the vitamin and mineral supplements. You can add to any other products. So the Breeders Excel is a supplement that's designed, it's a fatty acid supplement designed for broodmares and stallions. It's omega-3 fatty acids, okay, that come from DHA, they come from algae. So we talk about omega-3 fatty acids, ALA, but the fatty acids, the omega-3s that come from flax, chia, hemp, they are really not available to the horse, right? The only omega-3 fatty acid that the horse can use is DHA and EPA. All the others have to get converted to DHA and EPA in order to be functional. So why is DHA, the omega-3 fatty acid, DHA, important, especially for breeding stallions? It improves semen quality. It also improves egg quality in mares. You got to start feeding it 60 days prior to the breeding season, but it is exceptional for improving egg quality and semen quality. So if you've got stallion, maybe he's a little older, maybe you've struggled with semen quality in the past, we've had a lot of success. I will say the DHA Perform was a product that we had, which was just straight DHA. The price went through the roof, so we stopped carrying it. If you were using that product for the anti-inflammatory benefits and performance benefits of DHA, you can use the Breeders Excel instead. The DAC oil, probably one of the most sought after or commonly purchased products, the DAC oil is an easy one to start with a new customer because you're not asking them to change anything in their program, right? And you see pretty instantaneous results. Whether you're looking for coat shine or weight gain, the DAC oil is going to give you pretty quick results. What is different about the DAC oil to other oils? It's a blend of different vegetable oils. It's got omega-3 fatty acids coming from fish oil, so it's the DHA. It's got a large amount of natural vitamin E. People will use the oil, like I mentioned, in small quantities, like 1 or 2 ounces a day, for coat shine, make the coat really shiny. But we'll also use it for significant weight gain. Significant weight gain, we're looking at, 16 to 18 ounces a day. Remember, 1 pump is 1 ounce. So 16 to 18 pumps a day. You want to spread that out over 3 or 4 meals. You don't want to add that just in 2 meals. But that will give you some significant, very safe weight gain. The bloom. A lot of people ask me, well, what's the difference between oil and bloom? The oil is just straight fat. That's what it is. It's going to make your hair coat shine and it will put weight on the horse. The bloom, though, is a blend of different amino acids. So you can see that the ingredients are soybean meal and whey protein concentrate. And then the next ingredient is a prilled fat. So prilled fat is fat that stays solid at room temperature. Now, the bloom, I recommend, it definitely will put some weight on your horse, but it will improve bad quality hair and it will help with some top line. So a lot of people, when they're prepping horses for shows, they will use a combination of oil and bloom, right? Significant weight gain with the oil, fixing poor quality hair coat, adding extra good quality protein for muscle development in the bloom. The digestive feed additive, the DDA, for sure. Every person knows about DDA. My saying is every horse every day should eat the DDA. It is a supplement. If you said, I can only feed one supplement, which one should I feed? The DDA. It's like a gut health supplement that a horse should eat every single day. This is the first supplement that we've talked about that has a therapeutic amount of the GI Pro 3. It's also got live cell yeast, which is another probiotic. It's got integral, which binds up it binds up mold spores. It's got a small amount of vitamins and minerals, but really they're just for supportive. It's got biomass, which is going to bind up bad bacteria. So this is just a daily supplement that is going to improve it's going to improve the health of the gut. And in turn, that improves the utilization of all the food you're already feeding the horse. So we're already feeding hay, we're already feeding concentrate. The DDA is going to make doing that safer. It's going to get more bang for your buck, more out of all of those nutrients. So every horse, every day should have DDA. Again, this is probably another one like the oil that is a super easy first sell. We've had testimonials that I added DDA and the hoof quality got better. I added DDA, the hair quality got better. I added DDA and my mare was able to produce more milk because they're unlocking more nutrients out of the food that you're already feeding them. The rescue aid. So the DDA you feed it every day. It's like a maintenance supplement. The rescue aid is more therapeutic. We've got actively sick horse here, got chronic diarrhea that just won't go away. Or we're trailering him and we know he hates to go on the trailer. The vet's coming. We know he hates the vet. Getting his teeth done. We know he really stresses about that. The weather's going to change. Like here in Virginia, it's been really warm and it's going to get cold overnight and horses will colic. The rescue aid. If you can preempt those changes or those stressful periods by using the rescue aid, that's a great way to use it proactively. But you can be reactive as well. Okay, someone's called me, they're at their wits' end, horse has got chronic diarrhea that just will not go away. What are we going to do? Rescue aid. I recommend Rescue Aid, that we feed it. If you've got a horse that's completely gone off their food, I use the Rescue Aid paste. And if they can afford it, I like 5 to 7 days of Rescue Aid paste, and then we switch them over to the powder. Because if they've gone off their food, you can't feed them a powder because they just won't eat. So using the paste can really help stimulate their appetite, stimulate the gut to get going again, so that now we can start to feed them again. Rescue Aid, GI Pro 3, Biomoss, different bacterial strains that are, we know, suppressed when the horse gets stressed or sick. So another fantastic product. The Cool Gut. Now, the Cool Gut was developed to aid in stomach and hind gut health. Oh, the other ingredient, I'll go back real quick, that is in the Rescue Aid, and this is the only product that it's in, is the Butapearl CEQ, and that's butyric acid, which is made by the good bugs in the hindgut and microencapsulated in zinc, and that really helps with intestinal integrity and helping to heal that intestine. The Cool Gut was designed for horses that have gastric and hindgut damage. We're really not meant to say the word ulcer because these are not drugs, but that's what we designed it for. So it's got L-glutamine, which helps with tissue health, the marine-derived calcium, which is a honeycomb, very bioavailable, helps to buffer that stomach acid. It's got pre and probiotics. It's got the DHA, that omega-3 fatty acid that helps with inflammation. Glycine, which helps to slow down acid production, and then whey protein concentrate helps to support the mucus that's produced in the bottom part of the stomach. But we do know that it works in the stomach and the hindgut. Again, it's 3 ounces a day. There is no loading dose or beginning dose. It's just 3 ounces a day. And we have found this to be very, very beneficial as well. Unlike your GastroGuard and UlcerGuard, which are drugs that are meant to be used for short periods of time and can have negative consequences if you feed them long term, Cool Gut is safe to feed constantly. A little bit more about the marine-derived calcium that we get, the Calci powder. Anybody who's used the product Outlast by Purina, it is the same technology. It is the same active ingredient, marine-derived calcium. It's fossilized red algae, really. And so a little bit more detail on the kind of benefits of that natural source of calcium, and also the products that it is included in: the Breeder's Choice Plus, the Cool Gut, the Colt Grower, the Pre-Buff. So the Pre-Buff, I know that we've had some issues with the Pre-Buff, but we are really nailing those down and should have it sorted very soon. It is a liquid buffering supplement. That's all it does, is it buffers, instantaneously buffers that stomach acid. You can see the little graph down the bottom here. We actually sent this away to the University of Kentucky for them to test how quickly that it will buffer that stomach acid. And really within a few minutes, the stomach acid is buffered into a safe zone. And that lasts at least 2 hours, but we've done further studies to show that it lasts up to 6 hours. Very palatable, and it's primarily that marine-derived calcium. Foundation formula. Again, we use Zinpro minerals. We've got NASC. The foundation formula is for hoof quality. If you've got a horse that has poor hoofs, first thing I add is the DAC digestive feed additive, the DDA. And if that is not improving hoof quality enough, maybe genetically they've got bad feet, the foundation formula is where I go next. Just like in a joint supplement, it's not just one single ingredient, right? It is zinc, methionine, biotin. It's a copper. It's a combination of all of these ingredients that we know are important for hoof quality. You can go through the special ingredients, all of the kind of a little bit more detail on each of those ingredients and how they benefit hoof quality, but foundation formula for hoof quality. The Yucca 5-way. The Yucca, it is primarily Yucca shitagira extract, which is beneficial as an anti-inflammatory. So may help reduce inflammation associated with things like training, daily aches and pains. We have a lot of Amish buggy horses that utilize the Yucca as a daily anti-inflammatory. So it doesn't have any negative consequences on the horse like bute. So that is a good, so oftentimes if people say, I think I might need a joint supplement, whilst Yucca is not a joint supplement, it's usually the first step into that program because it's a natural anti-inflammatory. Maybe we can just ease some of that joint pain with the Yucca, and then if we need to go further, then we have something like Optimum Flex Plus. Before we get to the Optimum Flex Plus, though, if we have young horses, we have in our kind of joint category, Yucca, as I've just described, LQHA Plus, and Optimum Flex Plus. The LQHA Plus is a liquid hyaluronic acid supplement. And in the past, I never really recommended a joint supplement for young horses because it's not a preventative. It's not going to stop them from developing some joint issues. The LQHA Plus, however, in the joint, and this is what we talked about last month, the joint has fluid in there, joint fluid that lubricates that joint and stops it from being kind of bone on bone or cartilage on cartilage. It lubricates that joint. And the active ingredient in that lubricating fluid is hyaluronic acid. So we know with young horses when we exercise them and we stress them, it thins out that fluid. So adding more hyaluronic acid will just help to keep supporting the thickness of that fluid, especially when we're exercising them. So young horses, even if you're not riding them yet, you're just starting to do a little bit more groundwork, you're lunging. The LQHA Plus is definitely something that I recommend. As a horse gets older and gets potentially diagnosed with a kind of joint disease, osteoarthritis, breakdown in cartilage, the Optimum Flex Plus, combination of MSM, glucosamine, 2 different sources, chondroitin, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, manganese, zinc, copper, all of these play a different role in joint health. So definitely more complete for those older horses that have a lot of breakdown. The Herbal Respond, this one, don't feed it to pregnant or lactating mares. This product is Yucca shitagira extract, Devil's Claw, which is on the banned substance list. So if you've got a performance horse that competes in sanctioned events, we don't want to use the Herbal Respond, but also some boswellia and vitamin C. This is a product that can be used as a natural anti-inflammatory as well. If you want to try something other than the Yucca, we recommend trying the Herbal Respond, but again, got to be careful that you're not riding in sanctioned events. Formula E and SE, this is natural vitamin E and organic selenium combined. I will say that if your horse is getting any of the vitamin and mineral supplements from DAC and being fed the correct amount, they're going to have plenty of selenium, plenty of good quality, viable selenium. I typically, in a DAC program, recommend more natural vitamin E than I do just E and SE. When you put the two together, you are limited on the amount of vitamin E that you can feed a horse with this combo product because the selenium can become toxic. So we've got to be careful there. That being said, if this is a program that it's not a DAC program and you're unsure of the quality of selenium that the horse is getting, then yes, vitamin E and selenium. Why the two together? Why are you not just feeding a selenium supplement? Because they're both powerful antioxidants that work together, just like calcium and phosphorus go together. Vitamin E and selenium go together. The DAC Metabolic is one of our newer products. Took me a long time to come up with a product that I felt had ingredients that would actually work for horses with metabolic issues, obesity, crusty neck, sugar sensitivities, metabolic syndrome. And since the Chemtrace Chromium came out, which is here, the Chemtrace Chromium and magnesium combined, we that's what this product is. So this will help with sugar and starch regulation, boost immune function, normal circulation, manage stress. It doesn't mean that this laminitic fat pony can go and eat all the sugary treats at once and whatever diet and not wear a grazing muzzle and eat grass again. This is just one piece of your kind of toolkit where if the horse is fat, we're trying to get the body weight under control, trying to do a bit of exercise if we can. You're feeding a low carb diet, you're maybe soaking the hay or feeding a low carb hay, but the metabolic will also be very beneficial for helping them clear that glucose and insulin. A little bit more about it there. I do recommend that if you are in more of an English community that has a lot more maybe hunter horses or fat horses, that you do go and watch our YouTube video on the Chemtrace Chromium and specifically on metabolic horses. Calm B. So we also recently did a webinar on calming supplements for horses, and 9 times out of 10, a horse changes their behavior as a pain response. Is it skeletal pain? Is it muscular pain? Is it gut pain? If we've ruled all of those out and the horse's behavior has just changed, whether it would be the weather or something like that, young horse, little high strung, then the Calm B in the paste or the powder is a good substitute. It's a good product to try. If your horse is already in a stressful situation and the behavior has changed, no amount of Calm B is going to calm them down. This is something that we feed prior to. You have to be very proactive with any calming supplement and feed it prior to them getting all hyped up. But I do recommend that if somebody is asking you for a calming supplement, we ask a few questions and make sure that we make sure that it's not a muscle pain, it's not a gut pain, it's not a skeletal pain, it's not that the saddle doesn't fit properly, because no amount of Calm B will change that behavior either. Mare relief for that moody mare, again, just like the Calm B, works with some, not always. You've got to find the right mares that it works with. Certainly give it a try. There's nothing in it that is going to test. Again, we don't want to feed this to pregnant mares or lactating mares. Electroaid, our electrolyte supplement, comes in a paste and a powder. No sugar. So you don't want a lot of sugar in electrolyte because it's going to block the uptake of those electrolyte salts. So the Electroaid has really been designed to mimic sweat, equine sweat. A little bit more about the primary ingredients in here, but again, Electroaid in a paste and a powder. The E-Natural, I mentioned earlier that I probably recommend this a whole lot more than I do the E and SE combined, because I can feed large quantities of the E-Natural very safely and not worry about any toxicity from selenium. So horses get vitamin E from fresh green grass. We know that most horses don't have access to enough fresh green grass. So a lot of horses are deficient in vitamin E. I would say that a horse that has access to fresh green grass 24 hours a day and plenty of green grass, they're going to consume about 2,000 IUs of natural vitamin E per day. the little scoop, this is very, very concentrated, and there's a little scoop in there, and that is a 5-gram scoop, and that will give you just a hair over 2,000 IUs of natural vitamin E per day. So if your horse has no signs of any vitamin E deficiency, but lives in a stall or has really poor pasture, you just give them 1 scoop a day. Some symptoms that might lead you to say, okay, vitamin E. Well, poor posture, live in stalls, performance horse, maybe got some poor top line or some poor muscle development, doing all the right exercises, feeding all the right feed, but still not really developing the top line. Older horses, losing their immune system. Horses that are getting over any kind of sickness, they have a lesser immune system, and the vitamin E is going to boost their immune system. So you can see here my suggested amounts based on whatever might be going on with that animal. The pastes, we have the CMZ paste, the probiotic paste, Electro Aid paste, Rescue Aid paste, eBoost paste, and Calm B paste. Now the Rescue Aid paste, the Calm B paste, and the Electro Aid paste, we've talked about their counterpart, right? So this is just the paste version of those. The CMZ Colt Builder paste, it's copper, manganese, and zinc primarily. These are critical nutrients for cartilage development and cartilage turnover. So with those young growing horses, when they develop joint issues, what it is the cartilage is not ossifying and turning into bone correctly. And so the CMZ paste can definitely help with those young foals. The probiotic paste, like we've got a lot of gut health supplements, so where does the pro paste fit in? For me, this one is, horse has been on antibiotics for whatever reason. Maybe had a respiratory issue, maybe had a puncture, maybe had an abscess in his foot. And a lot of times we're giving a broad spectrum antibiotic, which might kill a lot more than what is just intended. So the pro paste can help repopulate all the bugs in the gut. Also, young foals as well can help populate the gut. eBoost paste has the chromium in it, so it's really going to help. It's branch chain amino acids, so types of amino acids that really help with recovery and performance. So a lot of horses, it's not like they just have one bout of exercise and then they're done. We go to shows and we're doing multiple barrel runs. We're doing multiple show jumps. And they have to recover really quickly. Horses don't recover as quickly as other athletes. Humans can recover really quickly, and we measure recovery by how fast we can store fuel back in the muscles. And horses don't do that very quickly. So the eBoost paste can really help with recovery and performance. Look, I will say that I am not an expert on the grooming products, but I believe that the grooming products pretty much speak for themselves. You know, their names are exactly what they are. You've got descriptions here, you know, your 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, citronella being your fly sprays, either in a concentrate or the regular sprays, the purple shampoo for any of your lighter colored animals to really dull out those yellow tones and brighten the hair coat. Hoof therapy, I mean, like I said, these are all self-explanatory. The power rinse being a liniment, laser HD. I think it's got a new smell to it is what I understand. Like a real good shine. So shine comes from the inside out, right? So you're feeding your horse oil, you're giving it bloom, you've got a really beautiful hair coat, and the laser HD just helps to exacerbate that. But if you've got a really unhealthy sick horse and you spray it with laser HD, like health comes from the shine comes from the inside out. Wound spray, for all of the things that we used to use our old wound spray for, same thing. So cuts, scratches, abscesses. The liniment and the poultice, I have heard very good reviews in performance bonds. tangle-free mane and tail treatment. Again, very self-explanatory. A little bit more about the chromium. You know, we've talked about the chromium on and off, and it does multiple things. So this, we talked a little bit more about the heat stress. So any stress in the body will boost cortisol, and chromium can interfere with that cortisol release. And that cortisol really tells the body, you are going to have to run away fast. So take away fuel and nutrients and energy from everything you're doing, because you're going to have to put it into your muscles to run away. And that really negatively impacts the horse. So if you can interfere with that, and stop that cortisol release, then you can maintain your horse performing well, growing well, having a good immune system. So a little bit more about chromium and how it does that. And then I know they're not equine products, but the buck magnet and the big buck, an attractant and a mineral block. Again, I don't know a lot about these. Andy can probably speak to these. He just got a big buck. But I think that we will see in areas where, what are we now on to, maybe year 2, maybe it's your second season of having these products in the same area. If hunters can have them in the same area and they're hunting those populations after several years of having access to this, that's when I think you're going to see the biggest benefit to it. But things like the chromium and the calcium powder, the calcium powder is going to improve bone density and bone strength, i.e. antler density and strength. And the chromium, again, if you can drive more nutrients into the cell, then they're going to be healthier. So they'll be able to be bigger animals, and they will also have bigger antlers because they've got more fuel to grow those antlers. With that, that ends our webinar, and I will take any questions.